So welcome. At the moment, just got a couple of you here. I think there was at least one other person that was trying to join, but I think we'll just get started. So my name is Dr. Kristen Brown, and I'm one of the directors of the MSc Regenerative Medicine.
I'm John Connolly. I'm the other course director.
So we thought today we would just take the opportunity to take any questions that you have about the course. We have some slides if you have particular questions that we can go into in detail. But I think maybe we'll start with just an exciting update of where things are at with our current students. Sean, do you want to tell them where we're at with?
Yeah, sure. So our current students just this past week finished up their final dissertation presentations. So they gave an oral presentation over Microsoft Teams to the rest of the cohort, summarizing their dissertation project. And so this year, because the laboratories were shut down for most of the spring, the students were doing dry projects. And so these involved primarily data analysis of existing data sets that their supervisors had. So this was bioinformatic analysis of RNA sequencing or image analysis from microscopy studies. And so, yeah, it was quite rewarding for us to see that, despite the lockdown this year, they were able to carry out a real research project and collect and analyze data and gain some probably very valuable bioinformatics skills. So those have just wrapped up, and now the students are having had the opportunity to come back into the labs for kind of a voluntary research experience for several weeks and try to gain some hands-on wet lab experience. So now that the labs are reopened and kind of set up for safe working with distancing and one-way systems and all of that, so they'll be able to get some training and get a bit of wet lab experience. So I think they're very excited about that.
Yeah, I think we're very excited too, because when the pandemic hit, the labs were shut entirely for a couple months, John.
Yeah, it was almost 3 months.
Yeah, 3 months, and then nobody was quite sure how it would go with the reopening, but it's gone really smoothly, and I think we're feeling, I'm certainly feeling more confident about our ability to get students in the lab as we move forward, and also more confident that if we, for some reason, can't, that we can offer really good dry projects that still challenge the students and that they find worthwhile.
Yeah, and develop important skills. I think bioinformatics is a cornerstone of research these days, and everybody uses it. So it's it is a really valuable skill to develop.
Yeah, definitely. So can I ask you, if you move your mouse around, you'll see on the bottom you have the option of chat. I'm getting a message that my internet is unstable, so hopefully I didn't lose my internet. If you want to just type in the chat a word or two about what you are interested in us talking to you about today, or any particular questions you have, that would really help us, because we want to make this time valuable for you. We know you're close to the point where you have to make a final decision about the masters, and we want to help you to make sure that this is the right decision for you. So do you have any particular questions you'd like to ask?
So he wanted to know the potential start dates for the course. So teaching, it officially starts, just double check the date. Yeah, so teaching officially starts on the 21st of September, but the week before that will be the induction week. So that's when you will fully enroll and also get your login details and be able to access the Queen Mary educational platforms. And we'll also have a meeting in the morning on the 16th of September, specifically for students enrolled on the program. Kristen and I are still planning it out, but we might also try to do a kind of in-person kind of meet and greet at a safe distance, where we get coffee or something out in the courtyard, so that those of you who are on campus can see us and meet us face to face, and your colleagues as well. Does that, hopefully that answers your question, but the first day of teaching is the 21st of September. So there's another question. What kind of changes can we expect with regards to assessments because of the current pandemic? Yeah, that's a really good question. So all of the assessments are going to be either a take-home exam or coursework. So with this master's degree, there is a large amount of coursework, because that's often a good way of assessing in-depth knowledge, and a lot of what we do is also reviewing of literature and recent papers. So in addition to kind of our normal coursework, essays and presentations, the exams will be changing so that it will be a take-home exam where you download it from our learning platform, and then you'd have a period of time, say either 24 or 48 hours to complete that. And it might be a combination of short answer and longer formats, essay-based questions. And so because those are our take-home exams, they will be assessing more comprehension and understanding, and the ability to synthesize different information. It looks like Kristen is back. Kristen, you're muted.
Says the first time all summer I've lost internet. Problem in the area. Really sorry about that.
Yeah. Well, good thing I didn't lose it, because I'm actually on the university network at the moment. I was just talking about changes to assessment and talking about the alternative exams and the take-home format.
Okay. Do you want me to add anything, or did you cover
I think that pretty much answered the question. There's another question. Does enrollment happen online, or will we be expected to come in for it? Kristen, do you want to answer that one?
I can answer that one. The enrollment process is going to be completely online this year. So we would be given guidance about what to do. The only caveat, I guess, is at some point you'll need to pick up your student ID card, and they're offering that by appointment, so to keep things safe and from becoming crowded. So at the point where you reach campus and you need to have access to facilities, you just make an appointment to pick up your student ID card.
All right. Any other questions? Or if there was something that we did answer that wasn't clear, feel free to follow up on that.
There's a question in the Q&A window.
Oh, there's a Q&A window. Are the lectures going to be online? So that's another good question about kind of delivery. So this year, at least for semester one, the plan is to deliver the teaching as in what we call blended format, and that includes recorded lectures that will be available online, and students would access those and review them in their own time. And then following up from that, there would be some sort of tutorial or webinar or some live interaction. And those will take different formats depending on what the topic is and the module. The majority of those will also be online through Microsoft Teams, but a number of them will be face-to-face in the lecture theater. And so we have access to the large lecture theater, so we'll be able to space people out for those kind of on-site tutorials. And we're aiming to have about kind of one on-site session per week. But one important thing to note is that if you can't come to campus because either you're isolating or you can't travel or whatever reason, all of the core learning material will be available online. But we would like to have some face-to-face interaction during this upcoming semester. Now, Kristen, do you want to add anything to that? Oh, it looks like Kristen is frozen again. Hopefully her internet connection will improve. another question about projects. And so he asked how we would generally come about choosing one to focus on. So that's another really good question and something that comes up often. So the way that the projects work is that at the beginning of the academic year, we send out a call to any faculty on campus that are involved in regenerative medicine research, and we ask them to put in a master's project that they would be willing to supervise. And so then we collate those projects and send them out to the students to review over the first semester. And the students can look through and pick out ones that are of interest to them, and then set up a follow-up meeting with the supervisor to discuss. And so then we ask the students to submit their top 5 project choices by the end of the first semester. And what we do then is to try and match up students with one of their preferred topics. And generally that works out pretty well. I think this past year, about at least half the students got their top choice, and a good number got their second choice. And I think just a couple had their third or fourth choice. So in general, it works out pretty well in terms of matching students with a topic that they're interested in. And the topics that are put forward cover a range of projects related to regenerative medicine. So it could be basic stem cell biology, or understanding disease processes or degenerative diseases, or normal mechanisms of tissue regeneration. But they can be more applied as well. So some are based within engineering and developing biomaterials or engineered scaffolds for tissue repair. And it also covers a wide range of kind of tissues and diseases. Hopefully that answers a question about projects. Anything else? I just got a message from Kristen saying that there's a BT fault in her area, so she may not be able to log back in, but we'll see. Okay, great. Glad that was clear about the projects. Now, one additional thing to note about the projects for this upcoming year is that while we'll be asking the supervisors to put in wet lab projects primarily, we will also ask them to have a kind of backup plan for a dry project if we had to convert to that. Hopefully we won't, but we are asking them to plan specifically for that, so that if we do have to do a bioinformatics type project instead, then that will be planned for and set up. It worked out pretty well this year, even without planning, but I think if we had put a little bit more thought into it in the beginning, then it would have been probably even better. When you select your electives and topics for the project. So in terms of the electives, the first semester is set. There are no electives for that. In the second semester, there are 5 modules, and you choose 4 of those. And we ask that students submit those project choices, or those elective choices, for the second semester before the end of the first semester, so that we can plan accordingly who's going to be on what module. And that's all done through the kind of enrollment platform, which is referred to as MySys. And then in terms of the final thesis project, those you don't need to submit your choice until December. And so you have the entire first semester to kind of review what those projects are all about, and potentially meet with supervisors. So yeah, in both cases, you'll need to submit your choices by the end of the first semester. So there's another question. Would it be possible to set up a group chat, like exchange emails with all master's students? Yep, that's totally possible, and actually it's something that most of the cohorts in previous years do. it may not be possible until you actually enroll, because some people enroll at different times, so we don't get the full class list until, just a week or a few days before the start of the term. But certainly once the term is started, I think the group chat is useful, and I think particularly if you might not be interacting with each other as much as you would in previous years, face to face, the group chat can help. One thing I would caution about the group chats, though, is that if there are questions about marking or assessment or assignments, and ask the academic staff directly, because sometimes a little bit of misinformation or confusion gets spread around the group chat, and then everyone has incorrect information. So to kind of make sure that you do have the correct information, I would say ask the lecturers and the academic staff directly. Also on our learning page, there's a forum, and so that's also a way of asking questions to the rest of the group and getting feedback, and that's something that us as lecturers and course directors will check and can reply to if there are questions. Okay, well, I guess if there aren't any further questions, we can close out this session for today. So just to double check, no more questions. If you do have them, get them in now. Of course, if you do have any further questions after this session or think of something, feel free to get in touch and email us directly. We're happy to answer any questions that you might have. And great. Yeah, hopefully I will see all of you either online or face-to-face at the beginning of the academic year. So thanks everyone for logging in today, and hope you have a good weekend.